When attacked by 3 cultivators in the core formation stage, the trio fled. The veiled woman was chased by Wang Chan and his company and set a trap to strike back. Wang Chan and his company fell into the trap and were pinned down by the veiled woman's sword aura. The veiled woman was severely wounded and exhausted her magic power. The veiled woman tricked Han Li into helping her, and Han Li rescued her. Wang Chan and his company broke free from the trap and chased Han Li and the veiled woman. Dong's honor did not pursue them due to concerns. Han Li escorted the veiled woman into the dense forest. Han Li flees from Dong Shuer on the divine wind boat. Han Li hides in a pile of dirt and escapes after seeing that Dong Shuer has left. Han Li brings the unconscious masked woman to a tree hollow. Han Li tries to examine the masked woman's injuries but realizes that she is absorbing his spiritual energy. Han Li cultivation is rapidly drained, and he faints, collapsing on top of the masked woman. After an unknown amount of time, Han Li regains consciousness and sees a graceful figure standing with its back to him at the entrance of the cave. Nan Gongping accused Han Li and slapped his face because she suspected him of molesting her. Nan Gongping said that Han Li saved her and wanted to repay him. She proposed 2 options: compensation with spirit stones, or following her to restore his cultivation and obtain secret techniques in a dual cultivation partner. After some hesitation, Han Li chose compensation with spirit stones and declined Nan Gongping's help. Han Li cautiously returns to the underground cave and spends 6 to 7 days repairing the ancient teleportation array. After fixing the array, Han Li tests it to see if the other end of the array is still in existence, but finds that low-grade spirit stones cannot activate the formation. Han Li changes to mid-grade spirit stones and the teleportation array is activated. A blinding yellow light breaking through the restriction and attracting demon cultivators outside the cave. Wang Chan, the young master of the Ghost Spirit sect, and the Li brothers recognize the ancient teleportation array and are overjoyed. The elder of the Li brothers, noticing Han Li's intention to use the array, wants to stop him, but is hindered by the cave's formation. He calls upon the demon cultivators to break the formation and tries to capture Han Li before the array teleports. Han Li teleported to the dark stone hut, and after destroying the teleportation array, he found that the stone gate led to a staircase made of green stone. The staircase exit was blocked by a giant stone, which Ku Han split with a swing of his axe. Han Li walked out of the cave and found himself on a cliff overlooking a seemingly endless blue ocean. Han Li extended his divine sense but found no sign of cultivators nearby. He boarded the divine wind boat and flew high into the sky, where he saw a solitary island below. The cliff he was on was a protruding part of the island. Han Li spots a giant fish, hovers above it, and attracts attention from the passengers on board. The people on the ship show reverence upon learning of Han Li's arrival, but Han Li is unable to communicate with them. Han Li summons the elder Wang Chongqing, and through an ancient language, learns that the ship's owner, Mr. Gu, invites Han Li to reside on Kuixing Island. Han Li declines the immediate offer, instead requesting to travel with the ship to familiarize himself with local customs and learn the language. A request to which Mr. Gu agrees. The cultivation sects establish magic barriers to protect islands from the attacks of sea monsters and the heavenly storms. Mortals can live on these islands. When the sects sail out, they often hire other sects to travel with them in order to deal with the sea monsters. The 3 deadly disasters in the scattered star seas are heavenly storms, sea monsters, and ghost fog. The heavenly storms attack the scattered star seas twice a year, causing great destruction, and even cultivators have difficulty escaping them. Ghost fog is a mysterious black fog. When it appears, neither mortals nor cultivators have a chance of survival. Shopkeeper Gu hopes that Han Li will move to Kuixing Island, because Kuixing Island has 10 berths for long-distance trade. The berths for long-distance trade on Kuixing Island are decided by a magic contest held once every 3 years. Mortals cannot participate. After Han Li met the Gu family on Kuixing Island, they asked for his assistance in contending for the right to trade with the large islands. Han Li initially declined, but the Gu family offered a generous payment, including spirit stones, a guarantor for permanent residence, and a share of their profits. Wang Chongqing explained that there were 2 ways for an external immortal to settle on Kuixing Island: temporary residence or finding a sponsor for permanent residence, which had several advantages. Han Li senses the presence of a cultivation immortal while in Willowwood Town and along with Master Gu and others. Pays respects to Foundation Establishment Cultivator Elder Yang. Elder Yang presents Han Li with a jade tablet, allowing him access to Kui Xing Island. Master Gu leads Han Li to the Gu family manor, where Han Li discovers that the manor is surrounded by a prohibition array. Han Li declines Master Gus' invitation to stay at the manor, choosing instead to reside on a nearby hill. Kui Xing Isle's monthly trading day was bustling with people. Han Li and his companions arrived at the central plaza of Dongxi City to participate in Kui Xing Isle's monthly challenge. The Qi condensation cultivators drew lots within the palace, with the winner determined in a single battle. The rule was to injure, but not kill the opponent. The elder in charge of the competition produced a cerulean jade cylinder containing bamboo slips. The jade cylinder emitted a cerulean light that prevented divine sense from probing the contents. Han Li easily defeated a 7th-layer cultivator, startling the cultivators present. Han Li was arranged as the 7th challenger, and he chose a 6th-layer cultivator as his opponent. Han Li defeated his opponent unscathed, shocking everyone, including the elder. After Han Li's powerful performance, the other challengers all retreated, making Han Li the only one who was qualified to represent the Gu family. The elder handed Han Li a blue jade slip, and asked him to pass it on to the Gu family. Han Li, aided by a battle-hardened cultivator, successfully challenges 10 provisional thugs. Beyond the 3 major peaks of Mount Chong are numerous smaller peaks and caves, each varying in their density of spiritual energy. Core formation cultivators can possess a mountain peak for their own use, while Qi condensation cultivators must seek cultivation in valleys or caves. Kui Xing Island is home to 3 Nascent Soul cultivators: the Island Lord, True Man Wood Dragon, and the Deputy Island Lords, True Man Yuan Jun and True Man Con Chin. The Ascendant Pavilion, despite its dilapidated exterior, is adorned luxuriously within, bearing precious jewels and rare flowers and herbs. The pavilion's caretaker, a haggard middle-aged man, wears crimson furs and cradles a gigantic white pearl. Han Li obtained the Kui Xing Island map, which shows that Mount Azure Cloud occupies a vast area, with the Cyan area being its main region. The white light markers on the map indicate optional cave areas, while the gold light indicates mountain peaks. Han Li chooses Shaohuan Island as his cave abode. The island has low spiritual energy density, and he needs to bear the cost of the protection array himself. Shaohuan Island is small, but it has spirit veins. Han Li is responsible for protecting the island and can collect spirit stones from the islanders as compensation. Han Li obtains a Shaohuan Island jade slip that records the names of the islanders. On the east end of the island was a small town, and to the west was a small mountain range, the Lesser Universe Mountain Range, 2 peaks of which were filled with spiritual energy. With the assistance of the mayor of the town, Han Li chose a cave-dwelling site in the Lesser Universe Mountain Range. Han Li dug through both peaks, building a true cave-dwelling in the taller peak and a false cave-dwelling in the shorter peak, and set up protective arrays around them. Inside the true cave-dwelling, Han Li planted spirit medicines, placed fragments of magic treasures, kept rare insects, and transformed the environment of the secret chamber. Han Li studied a jade scroll he obtained from the Viet King. Considering the risks of cultivating the incarnation outside the body technique, Han Li, assisted by a large amount of elixirs and the training of strange insects, advances to the 9th level of Qi condensation after more than a year. After consuming 3 Foundation Establishment pills, he re-enters the Foundation Establishment stage and begins to refine Foundation Establishment elixirs. After accumulating elixirs, he begins cultivating the 2nd layer of the Grand Derivation technique, which takes him 6 years to complete. During his cultivation of the Grand Derivation technique, a disciple of a mid-aged cultivator from the Immortal Ascension Pavilion comes to challenge him, but Han Li defeats him. 6 years later, Han Li prepares to cultivate the incarnation technique secret art, splitting his soul power and sacrificing the soul transformation to form an incarnation. Following the sacrifice of the incarnation, Han Li retreats to restore his essence and begins studying the 3 revolutions profound origin technique. Port Kui Xingli remains bustling as a white light carries Han Li and the cultivated Ku Hun to the island's depths. Deciding to purchase materials and retrieve the spirit stones promised by Master Gu, Han Li intends to return to his cave and focus on his cultivation. Upon reaching Kui Xing City, Han Li discovers a vast city under an anti-ski prohibition. He enters on foot and encounters an enormous floating pavilion within a translucent barrier on Tiandu Street. Known as the Cloud Dream Pavilion. Emitting a verdant glow, Han Li conceals his actual cultivation at the qi condensation stage, accompanied by 5 fellow cultivators. 2 of the women wear revealing clothing, while the other 3 are unremarkable in appearance. Han Li and Ku Han followed the 2 women into a shop. They arrived at the central square of Tiandu Street and found 6 halls and the floating Cloud Dream Pavilion. Han Li noticed special markings on the banners outside the halls and realized that he might have made a mistake. After entering the White Water Tower, they were led to a side hall, where the shopkeeper, Sao Lu, congratulated Ku Han on his cultivation. Ku Han inquired about the core formation materials Snow Spirit Water and Celestial Fire Liquid. And Sao Lu promised to contact fellow Taoist Ouyang of the Jade Ring residence. Lianqi Dian sends a generous gift asking Ghost Melody to lend a hand. But she remains wary and declines. Lianqi Dian explains that if successful, they will reward her with a dustfall pill, beneficial for core formation. According to the information, the task involves a level 6 demonic beast and a 6 evading waterwave formation. Indicating low risk, Ghost Melody expresses her need to consider for 2 days before replying. Lianqi Dian presents her with a spirit object as a gesture of goodwill. Han Li visits a small shop to purchase materials for crafting puppets and raising spirit beast pills. Han Li contemplates accepting the mission from 6 Paths Palace in exchange for a dustfall pill. He purchases new spell scrolls and a compendium of Taoism on alchemy in the heavenly capital. Han Li visits the Jiyu estate and is warmly welcomed by Lord Jiyu, who hopes that Han Li will support the Jiyu family. Han Li studies the compendium of Taoism and learns about the rarity and efficacy of the dustfall pill. Despite knowing that the mission from 6 Paths Palace may be dangerous, Han Li decides to accept it due to his desire for the dustfall pill. At the 6 Unity Hall, the host of the formation, Feng Sanyong, introduces the participating cultivators Taoist Mao, disciple of Wying Island, Taoist Shui, partner of Taoist Mao, Master Qingsuan, recluse from Jinbei Island, and Taoist Yan, Ember's physique. The middle-aged Taoist Mao takes a dismissive attitude towards Kyuhun, stating that he has never heard of him in Kuixing Island. Kyuhun wittily responds, pointing out that Taoist Mao is hardly well known himself. After Feng Sanyong introduces the other cultivators, Taoist Mao leaves in anger, followed by Taoist Shui. Taoist Do from Waming Island is still cultivating and has not arrived yet. Feng Sanyong expresses interest in Kyuhun and inquires about his knowledge of formations. Kyuhun denies having any expertise in formations, and Feng Sanyong gives him some insights into the art. A few days later, the bald Taoist Do arrives, appearing friendly and straightforward. Under Feng Sanyang's guidance, the cultivators diligently practice their formations, and she refrains from pressuring them. A month later, the ship arrives at a deserted island, and an elderly man with a golden aura appears, gazing at the cultivators with a cold expression. 6 Harmonies Hall's mission target is a 6th grade infant carp beast, a formidable water spiritual beast. Upon learning the news, the casual and orthodox cultivators participating in the mission were grim-faced, realizing the threat posed by the infant carp beast. However, 6 Harmonies Hall's representative Feng Sanyong emphasized the infant carp beast's secrecy and promised confidentiality of the reward. Appeasing the resentment of the casual cultivators, Han Li felt uneasy and unable to enter seclusion, so he instructed Kyuhun to set up the Azure Water Blue Scales formation. The next day, Feng Sanyong led the group to the sea area where the infant carp beast was located. Meanwhile, a golden light, a yellow light, and a large mass of white mist were rapidly approaching the island. With the white mist emitting the cries of an infant, Feng Sanyong and the other 5 cast spells to set up a formation to trap the infant carp beast. Elder Miao and another elder took out 2 ancient bronze halberds. As they chanted, the halberds enlarged and prepared to attack the infant carp beast. The infant carp beast fired water true thunder at the formation. As Han Li and the others reinforced the formation, the 2 Nascent Soul elders prepared to deal the fatal blow with their halberds. The infant carp beast used its divine ability to summon a blue-white swirling tidal bore, violently crashing into the formation gate. The middle-aged scholar and his young wife were enveloped in a 2-colored glow as they channeled all their spiritual power to resist the tidal bore. But their light shield faltered. The six-linked Hall Elder recognized the black energy as dark yin demonic energy and fled in panic. The black energy condensed into one man and two women, with the man, Wu Chou, revealing that his ancestor, Grandmaster Extreme Yin, was about to emerge from seclusion. Grandmaster Extreme Yin's reputation was formidable, causing the six-linked Hall Elder and the nearby cultivators to turn pale. Wu Chou claimed that Grandmaster Extreme Yin had cultivated the dark yin demonic art and demanded the demonic carp beast's inner core. The six-linked Hall Elder hesitated, while Elder Gu exchanged a secret message with Wu Chou. After learning something, Wu Chou's expression changed drastically, and he ceased his actions. Han Li arrives at an unnamed island by the Divine Wind ship. Feeling a sense of foreboding, Gu, the elder of the six revolving halls, emerges, enveloped in a yellow light and with icy eyes, intent on taking Han Li's life. Han Li and the ghostly soul team up to fight, but Elder Gus' magic treasure releases numerous crescent-shaped blades that destroy Han Li's magic weapon and puppet. The ghostly soul transforms into a crimson light flood dragon and, together with the puppet, attacks the blades, temporarily creating a stalemate. Before Elder Gu can attack again, his internal chi is injured and he is unable to continue fighting. Han Li seizes the opportunity, grabs the ghostly soul, and flies towards the unnamed island to temporarily avoid pursuit. Elder Gu falls into the sneak attack of a Nascent Soul cultivator, who is momentarily kept at bay due to Elder Gus' own strength. Han Li takes the assailant from the side, using flying needles and a crimson beam of light to severely wound Elder Gu. Elder Gus' treasure hunt ends in failure, and he is stabbed through his body's yellow light by a blood-red light, injuring him severely. Ku Han and Han Li join forces to attack furiously, eventually killing Elder Gu. Han Li seizes possession of Elder Gus' storage bag and goes deep beneath the sea to evade pursuit. Powerful divine sense repeatedly casts its net wide, but Han Li and Ku Han escape notice by making use of their veiling silk. Half a month later, Han Li and Ku Han return to their cave abode in safety. Han Li refines the dusting pill, increasing his chances of forming a nascent soul. Han Li prepares to form a nascent soul, seeking a safe and spiritual location. He has already prepared the necessary spiritual medicines. The nascent soul formation process takes a long time, requiring 3 to 5 years. During this time, emotional fluctuations and fighting should be avoided. Han Li finds a remote mid-sized island called the Sea Ape Island. The island has spiritual veins and no island master, making it suitable for a secluded nascent soul formation. Sea Ape Island is known for producing low-level demonic beasts called sea apes, which can serve as cultivators' menials. After ingesting a spirit medicine, Han Li felt his meridians burn and his true essence roil as he used it to break through the bottleneck in his azure essence swordplay. Ku Han consumed the spirit medicine, refining its energy to form a fiend core, which proved easier for him than core formation was for Han Li. 4 years later, a heaven and earth anomaly occurred on Iron Ape Island, signifying that someone was forming a core. Upon learning of this, Han Li ceased his own core formation to assist Ku Han. With the aid of the spirit medicine, Ku Han successfully formed a fiend core. Han Li abandoned his cave abode on Iron Ape Island and returned to Halo Island with Ku Han. Han Li discovers that the secret room where he keeps his exotic insects has been destroyed, and the insects are nowhere to be found. Using divine consciousness to investigate, he discovers that the secret room's stone door has been damaged by countless tiny holes, the shapes of which are peculiar to insects. He finds a glowing silver sphere in his medicine garden and suspects that it is connected to the insect holes. According to records on a jade slip from the Yuling sect, the silver sphere could be the silverbite bug, ranked 12th on the exotic insect list. Han Li instructs Ku Han to test the silver sphere with blood mang and demonic fire, and discovers that its reactions are sluggish. But after the demonic fire burns it, the silver sphere splits into several beetles the size of soybeans, which are immune to the demonic fire and instead devour it. Han Li and Ku Han were ambushed by law enforcement cultivators, but Han Li detected them early, causing a commotion. The law enforcers believed Han Li and Ku Han murdered a cultivator and intended to apprehend them. Enraged, Han Li ordered Ku Han to kill them. Ku Han revealed his nascent soul cultivation base, suppressing the magic artifacts with crimson light and killing the escaping cultivators. Purple demonic flames descended, annihilating all the law enforcement cultivators. Han Li and Ku Han collected their storage bags and left. As Nascent Soul cultivators might arrive, Han Li urged Ku Han to flee. Upon learning of the warrant for his arrest, Han Li flees to the northeast. Along the way, he purchases a map of the Starfall Sea area and related texts. Learning about the basic situation of the Starfall Sea. The Starfall Sea is divided into the Inner Star Sea and the Outer Star Sea. The Inner Star Sea is controlled by the Star Palace, while the Outer Star Sea is known as the Demon Sea due to the presence of powerful demonic beasts. The Star Palace consists of Celestial Star City and the Star Islands of various regions. Among them, the 24 Outer Star Islands are managed by island masters who are elected through open selection. A star-picking ceremony is held every 100 years to select them. Celestial Star City is the center of the Starfall Sea, open and free, and not subject to Star Palace interference. It attracts a large number of merchants and cultivators of all levels and has a teleportation array leading to the Outer Star Sea. A grand and magnificent city has risen from the island of Tianxing City, covering the entire island and built upon a colossal mountain reaching into the clouds. This city, named Tianxing City, possesses stone walls reaching dozens of meters in height, with numerous portals of different types, including the Mortal Pier, the Monster Sea Bay, and the Cultivator City Gate. Cultivators at the core formation stage can reside within the city for extended periods for free and are granted an identity ring as proof. Red rings are permanent, while blue rings only last for 7 days. Upon entering the city gate, Han Li and Ku Han find the streets lined with mortal shops and an absence of any anti-flight Jinji, allowing cultivators to fly their artifacts within the city with ease. Han Li and Ku Han intend to lease a cave dwelling on Sacred Mountain. Luer informs them that they only need to rent a residence or cave dwelling. Sacred Mountain has 81 floors. The first 50 floors are open to the public, and the higher the floor, the more abundant the spiritual energy. The price also increases with the floor. The last 30 floors are only for the Star Palace Masters, and the top floor is the residence of the Sacred Lord. Han Li chooses to lease a cave dwelling on the 39th floor. The rent is 700 spirit stones, and the lease term is 100 years. The strange insects gold devouring worms are powerful when their numbers are large, but their young have limited abilities. The young gold devouring worm that Han Li acquired awakens for a special reason. Han Li cannot find a detailed method for cultivating gold devouring worms, so he can only figure it out on his own. Gold devouring worms are not picky eaters, but eating insect food, hardware, or spirit stones does not make them grow. The gold devouring worms change after swallowing other strange insects, so Han Li tries feeding them blood jade spider eggs. Spirit feeding pills are effective for both gold devouring worms and blood jade spiders, but the effect is weak for gold devouring worms due to their numbers. Han Li loses interest in cultivating gold devouring worms and focuses on making puppets and talismans. Han Li makes progress in making talismans, and his success rate improves. Han Li compiles information on the spirit beasts of the scattered Star Sea and purchases high-capacity storage bags. Han Li investigates the characteristics and habits of the alien sea spirit beasts, formulating strategies to deal with them. Han Li and Ku Han arrive at the Starry Sky Palace and meet cultivators heading to Verdant Jade Island. Han Li learns that the teleportation array charges by the number of times used, allowing him to save spirit stones. The 6 of them teleport to Verdant Jade Island together. Han Li arrives at Ningqi Island to find it deserted, with only merchant shops lining the streets. He purchases a detailed map of the sea region and learns that Nascent Soul cultivators often team up to hunt Yao Shou in the Outer Star Seas. A Nascent Soul cultivator, Hao Yuanshan, invites Han Li and Qiuhun to join their group, but they decline. Han Li is informed of the small number of cultivators on Ningqi Island and declares that he will venture out alone to hunt Yao Shou. Han Li set up an array formation on Red Coral Island to lure high-level Yao Shou. The light emitted from the neon dress herb can attract Yao Shou, and the older the herb is, the larger the range of influence. High-level cultivators can use the neon dress herb to lure Yao Shou, making it easier to kill them. The neon dress herb needs to grow for a century before it can spread its leaves. This process takes several days and emits a scent that attracts Yao Shou. The neon dress herb cannot be pulled up before it reaches a century of growth, or it will lose its ability to attract Yao Shou. Han Li sets up 2 arrays to capture high-level demonic beasts. Two demonic beasts fall into the disordered five elements array and the illusory heavenly net array successively. Han Li releases the mixed Yuan Bowl and puppet beast to attack the thousand-eyed demon. The thousand-eyed demon uses a protective shield to defend against the attacks. But it is eventually broken. Han Li uses the Crimson Thread Escape Light Needle to kill the thousand-eyed demon and obtain its demonic core. Han Li cautiously returns to Ningqiu Island. Evading dangerous beasts and ambushers, Han Li rests and recuperates on Ningqiu Island. Recovering his mental and physical exhaustion, Han Li acquires pill recipes and refines numerous pills. Solving the problem of drug resistance, Han Li sells beast materials in exchange for spirit stones. Resolving his financial concerns, Han Li prepares to dispel his cultivation and embark on the 3 revolutions Yuan Gong. Han Li accidentally discovers that Radiance Grass has no significant effect on gold devouring worms, leaving him disappointed. Emerging from his secluded chamber after forming his golden core, Han Li maintained his youthful appearance. His gold devouring beetles multiplied in number and enhanced their strength after consuming rainbow neon herbs and devouring their own kind, developing golden spots on their carapaces. Han Li virulent blood spiders reached the peak of the 4th level through his cultivation with soul-nourishing pills, their bodies becoming as translucent as jade. After cultivating the 2nd revolution of the revolving core technique, Han Li gained sufficient lifespan to pursue the 3rd revolution. Concerned about the low probability of successfully forming the golden core, Han Li resolved to employ multiple strategies to increase his chances. Han Li became a core formation cultivator, receiving congratulations and recruitment messages, all of which he refused. Han Li visited a nearby core formation cultivator, asking for humble advice, and exchanged a face-preserving pill. Han Li searched for materials to refine a magical treasure and a Tier 3 guilei. Han Li chose to craft a monkey-shaped guilei primarily from wooden materials, which was very expensive. Han Li was stopped by a girl after selling Tier 5 demon beast materials, who invited him to Qing Tea House. But Han Li declined. Elder Zhao warmly receives Han Li and serves him tea. Miao sect female disciple Fan Jingmei requests to purchase all of Han Li monster beast materials. Han Li initially denies. However, through an investigation, Fan Jingmei deduces that he still has abundant materials. After carefully considering the situation, Han Li acknowledges having more materials and agrees to sell them. Fan Jingmei is overjoyed and expresses that she will purchase all of them. Han Li agrees to the trade and goes to retrieve the materials. Fan Jingmei's excitement gradually fades. After Han Li left the tea house, he probed the opponent's restriction and found that the Miao insect was quite powerful. He returned to the tea house with Ku Han and Mrs. Fan wanted to buy monster materials. After Han Li traded the materials, Mrs. Fan took the opportunity to offer information about the whereabouts of the strange spirit bamboo, intending to use charm techniques to win him over. Han Li saw through the charm technique, and Mrs. Fan was unable to control her body. A mysterious female disciple of the Miao sect, Madame Fan, seeks the help of Han Li and his companions, claiming that her sect master's cargo was ambushed and valuable items like celestial thunder bamboo were stolen. Madame Fan offers celestial thunder bamboo and female disciples as compensation in exchange for Han Li assistance, which he declines. Han Li proposes an additional condition, requesting to select another item from the cargo, to which Madame Fan agrees. After Han Li's departure, Madame Fan is left with a complex expression, surprised by his reaction. Han Li inquires about the Miao insect, learning that it is led by female disciples, has moderate strength, and has a decent reputation, but is known for its bewitching techniques. Han Li discovers the source of the aura similar to Nangong Wan Zhou Rutting. Han Li and Ku Han wait to depart, but find that Madame Fan and Zhou Rutting are still waiting. A massive dark cloud suddenly appears, with a voice emanating from within. Wang Ning, a woman in violet from the Mellow Tune sect, emerges as the junior sister of Zhou Rutting and Madame Fan. Wang Ning reveals that she has enlisted the help of Red Fire Monster from Tortoise Spirit Island. Madame Fan and Zhou Rutting express concern about the formidable nature of Red Fire Monster, but Wang Ning assures them that there is also a core formation late-stage leader. Wang Ning promises that if they are successful in their revenge, the position of sect master of the Mellow Tune sect will be given to Madame Fan or Zhou Rutting. Several cultivators raid an evil sect's lair, only to find that their opponents are using the evil transformation technique. Red Fire Monster holds off the core formation evil cultivator, while the Melodious Sound sect cultivators besiege the Foundation establishment evil cultivator. The leader of the evil cult appears, his cultivation unfathomable, and accuses the Melodious Sound sect of slaughtering the disciples of the hidden evil sect. Elder Zhao is the first to attack the leader of the evil sect, who transforms into a white-boned skull-faced monster. Fairy Zilling exposes the treachery of Elder Zhao of the Miaoyan sect and others. Ugly Wu confesses that the Extreme Yin Island planned to steal the cargo of the Miaoyan sect and frame the Shadowless sect. Fairy Zilling, the Shadowless sect, confront the Extreme Yin Island and the Miaoyan sect betrayers. Madame Fan questions Elder Zhao and learns that he is being controlled. Ugly Wu proposes to Fairy Zilling with a condition. Fairy Zilling proposes a condition in exchange. Ugly Wu must execute the cultivator who killed her mother. Ugly Wu refuses the condition and turns his attention to the Shadowless sect. The middle-aged man of the Shadowless sect admits that Ugly Wu is his master's uncle. Ugly Wu proposes a condition in exchange. If the Shadowless sect hands over the Void Heaven Scroll, he will spare the middle-aged man's life. Middle-aged cultivator surmises that the Extreme Yin ancestor has mastered demonic powers, and the appearance of the corpse fire of the heavens confirms this speculation. Extreme Yin ancestor demands that everyone surrender their souls or face death, leaving them in a predicament. A cultivator with an aquiline nose defects, but Extreme Yin ancestor incinerates him with a dark demonic flame, shocking everyone with its power. Han Li recognizes the danger and struggles to suppress his urge to flee. The middle-aged cultivator proposes allying against Extreme Yin ancestor, but the Crimson Fire Fiend in the dark clouds makes no response, creating a tense atmosphere. Extreme Yin ancestor gathers another wave of dark demonic flames, driving everyone to despair. Gui Tu attacked the Supreme Yin Old Ancestor, who was burned by the Black Fire Serpent. The middle-aged man used the Cold Li Pearl to distract the Supreme Yin Old Ancestor. The Crimson Fire Demon ambushed the middle-aged man. The Supreme Yin Old Ancestor took the Cold Li Pearl. Cultivator Meng and others realized something was wrong and fled in all directions. Fairy Violet Spirit, Madame Fan, and Zhou Rudding used magic tools to escape. Han Li and Qiuhun encounter a corpse refiner. They flee as it is immune to magic treasure attacks. The corpse refiner is very fast and disappears after Han Li's swordlight passes through it, then reappears behind them. Han Li summons many great green apes and blood crystal spiders, but the corpse refiner is not affected by their attacks. Qiuhun's bloodblade is shattered by the corpse refiner, which then transforms into a fire that burns the corpse refiner. The blood crystal spiders spray webs on the corpse refiner, and purple flame fire snakes wrap around it. Han Li and Qiuhun take the opportunity to escape. Hearing screams coming from the direction of the Stygian Patriarch, two elders of the demonic sect discuss the unlikelihood of cultivating the great zenith light, considering it unexpected that Han Li and Qiuhun managed to escape. Grandmaster Jian discovers the blood jade spider's silk, speculating there is still a chance. Han Li returns to Starcloud City, having survived a dangerous journey. He finds a transmission talisman from Madame Van, who arranges a meeting and mentions Heaven Thunder Bamboo, weighing the pros and cons. Han Li, despite his resentment towards the female cultivator of the Sound of Melody sect, decides to attend the meeting due to the Heaven Thunder Bamboo. Fairy Zi Ling reveals Han Li body substitution identity, and Han Li acknowledges it while inquiring about the other fellow Taoists. Fairy Zi Ling explains that because of the feud with the Extreme Yin Island and the Elder's betrayal, the Profound Sound sect has decided to move to the Sky Star City. Fairy Zi Ling informs Han Li that he has the Heavenly Thunder Bamboo, and proposes to hire him as a guest elder with the Heavenly Thunder Bamboo and 300 spirit stones a year, along with a dual cultivation pill furnace. Han Li refuses to join the Profound Sound sect and instead offers to buy the Heavenly Thunder Bamboo at a high price. But Fairy Zi Ling refuses. Fairy Zi Ling suggests a compromise, hiring Han Li as a nominal elder, enjoying elder Diyu yet being free from obligations. Han Li acquired a suspected Heavenly Thunder Bamboo. Violet Spirit Fairy used a dagger to test its authenticity, which proved its genuineness. Han Li stored the Heavenly Thunder Bamboo properly. Violet Spirit Fairy, Mrs. Fan, and Zhou Rudding discussed hiring Han Li as an elder and presented him with an elder's waste token. Violet Spirit Fairy explained their reasons for hiring Han Li: his strong willpower that made him immune to charm spells, mitigating the risk of internal strife within the sect. The heavenly thunder bamboo was of limited value, and other nascent soul cultivators might not be willing to accept the position of elder. Han Li consulted ancient texts and discovered the cultivation method for heavenly thunder bamboo. He transplanted the bamboo into the medicinal garden. The age of heavenly thunder bamboo determined its rank and lightning attributes. Those under 1,000 years old were white thunder bamboo. Those over 5,000 years old were blue thunder bamboo. And those over 10,000 years old were gold thunder bamboo. Known for its evil-repelling thunder, Han Li continued to nurture the sky thunder bamboo. But its shade and power remained unchanged, the size staying around the 10th year mark. During its nurturement, a sapling grew next to the sky thunder bamboo, growing larger day by day until it completely replicated the original sky thunder bamboo. Han Li was overjoyed, planning to refine 72 cyan bamboo cloud bee swords to solve the problem of insufficient primary materials. The auxiliary materials required for refining the flying sword were ready. But Han Li was worried about his insufficient refining level and array knowledge. He resolved to overcome the difficulties. Ding a 20-year cultivation plan, including tempering his state of mind and studying refining and array knowledge. Han Li disguised himself as an ordinary young man and opened a small shop called Cyan Bamboo Pavilion in Star City. Mainly selling talismans and medicinal herbs, and occasionally selling low-level magic weapons. Han Li rarely went out, spending most of his time in the shop studying books and occasionally retreating in the backyard. The mortal shopkeepers nearby were initially interested in Han Li, but finding him taciturn, they gradually stopped visiting. Immersed in the mortal world, Han Li experiences human emotions, enhancing his skills in artifact and formation refinement. Through crafting intermediate magic tools and talismans, Han Li's store gains some renown, amassing wealth. Over 9 years, Han Li begins refining formation flags and discs, accumulating experience in the Tao of formations. Time passes, and Han Li tends to his store for over 2 decades, his appearance disguised as an elderly man. As the 6th Golden Thunder Bamboo matures, Han Li ends his worldly experience and returns to his cave to refine magic treasures. Han Li transfers ownership of his store, bids farewell to the mortal market, and returns to his path of cultivation. Han Li refines heavenly thunder bamboo, obtaining 12 drops of pure spirit liquid. In his secret chamber, he lays out a complex magic array in preparation for forging the green bamboo bee cloud sword. After 3 months of tireless effort, Han Li finally refines the spirit liquid and begins to cultivate gold devouring insects. The gold devouring insects devour and evolve once more, but their large numbers slow down their evolution. Han Li decides to specially cultivate a portion of the gold-devouring insects to accelerate their evolution. On an auspicious day, Han Li begins to forge the green bamboo bee cloud sword within the magic array. Using the array and his formidable divine consciousness to control the heavenly thunder bamboo spirit liquid. Pillfire erupts, the pillar of light turning fiery red as it envelops the spirit liquid, which then begins to change color. After refining his life-bound magic treasure, the azure bamboo bee cloud sword, Han Li returned to his dwelling to recuperate. As the gold-devouring beetles laid eggs, Han Li created a new insect room, took control of them, and saved some eggs for cultivation. The winds of change blew through the starry sky sea, causing a stir among the factions. The Star Palace was embroiled in rumors of its cultivators going berserk, causing widespread panic. Han Li ignored the rumors and planned to cultivate flying swords and refine tools for his upcoming sea expedition to hunt a rank 6 demonic beast. When the gold-devouring beetle eggs hatched, Han Li subjugated and trained the insect swarm. A middle-aged cultivator named Jin Qing visited Han Li, seeking his assistance in breaking a restrictive formation. Han Li accepts Jin Qing's request to seek opportunities in the ruins of ancient cultivators. The ruins are located in a desolate and remote sea area, where Jin Qing had previously discovered an array formation suspected to be covering the area. Han Li and Jin Qing travel together, and Jin Qing's greedy personality is revealed along the way. Upon reaching a stone house at the foot of an earthen hill, they find that other cultivators have arrived earlier. Han Li and Shi Dai were invited to break a great formation, with the first one to do so having priority in choosing a treasure. Shi Dai tried various magical tools to probe the formation but to no avail. Han Li utilized formation flags to assemble a Big Dipper 2 rituals formation and shot light beams at the formation. The formation was then activated. Yellow fog rolled, forming a bulging hill. After a giant bang, the formation was broken. The crowd was knocked down by the hurricane, and they had to open the protective shield to steady themselves. The light barrier was deep and blurry, containing a cylinder with interweaving bands of colorful light, releasing a heavy demonic aura. Han Li deduced that this formation wasn't an ancient one. The stone butterfly was curious about it but didn't show any abnormalities. The process of breaking the formation was slow. Han Li discovered that the stone butterfly had a solid theoretical foundation in formations but lacked the means to break them. Han Li and the stone butterfly worked together, with the stone butterfly deducing the weak points and Han Li breaking the restrictions. The progress accelerated, and they both benefited greatly. After 3 months of breaking, only one restriction remained in the grand formation. The color of the light barrier had changed to a fiery red, and the colorful light bands inside had transformed into evil winged demons capable of spewing out powerful demonic flames. The stone butterfly explained the characteristics and cause of the formation of the evil winged demons, emphasizing their dangerous nature. Han Li and his companions discover that the island is inhabited and encounter a self-proclaimed island lord. The island lord finds out that Han Li and his companions are trying to break the island's restrictions and attacks them. The island lord's flower basket is an ancient treasure that can trap magic treasures and greatly reduce their spirituality. Han Li and his companions engage with the island lord, but their magic treasures are trapped in the flower basket, putting them at a disadvantage. Han Li was surprised to discover that the skull used by the strange man resembled a ghost spirit sect magic tool, but possessed even greater agility. The strange man effortlessly destroyed the magic tools of Hu Yu and the surname Jian. Demonstrating his formidable strength, Han Li decided to help and summoned the Golden Devouring Beetles to challenge the strange man. The strange man used a black disc to smash the spherical Golden Devouring Beetles. Showing a look of triumph, a massive swarm of insects forces the strange man to flee. The insects destroy 2 ghost heads, causing them to self-destruct, but the majority of the swarm remains unaffected. Han Li chases the strange man, using his 2 flying sabers to merge into one, greatly enhancing his speed. Han Li catches up to the strange man and kills him with the flying saber, obtaining a flower basket, a storage pouch, and a mysterious scroll painting. Han Li is puzzled by the contents of the scroll but flies towards the self-destructing skeleton head to continue his investigation. Han Li and his companions discover a giant seal spirit pillar, typically used for sealing precious spiritual herbs or suppressing powerful ghosts and demons. They speculate that the pillar may contain a powerful demon who, if captured, will enhance the power of their magic treasures. After some discussion, Jin Qing, Hu Yu, the surname Jian, Shi Dai, and Ku Han decide to venture into the seal spirit pillar. The surname Jian claims to possess supernatural powers that are specifically effective against ghosts and demons. Ku Han volunteers to use his immense strength to topple the seal spirit pillar. A sinkhole appears at the foot of the pillar, and the group decides to explore it together. 7 Sha Lian is a legendary immortal herb which is rumored to have the power to resurrect and aid in cultivation. After the cultivators discover the 7 Sha Lian, they plan to harvest it to sell at an auction and divide the spirit stones. However, Han Li stops them. A cultivator surnamed Jian forcefully harvests the 7 Sha Lian despite Han Li warning and is subsequently pulled into a poisonous pool by a great force emanating from the flower's stem. Fairy Shi is splashed by the pool water, and her face is corroded. She survives after taking a pill. A demon snake attacks the group, but Han Li deflects it with his green radiant sword. Hu Yu identifies the demon snake as a demon crown snake whose crown has transformed into a 7-colored lotus, emitting rainbow-like demon energy. The group joins forces to attack the demon snake, but it proves formidable, using its colored mist to weaken their magic tools. Ku Han uses the blood spirit drill, while Han Li employs the azure bamboo bee cloud sword, together slaying the demon snake. The group realizes that the demon crown snake's crown has been refined into a 7-colored lotus, likely as a trap for the bone sage. Han Li takes note of the emerald arrow in the bone sage's hand. Hu Yu proposes continuing their exploration, but Han Li declines, opting to remain in the hall with the others. Jin Qing suspects the cave dwelling is a ruse, while Han Li believes it is the remains of an ancient cultivator who had fallen prey to a trap set by someone else. Hu Yu is stabbed in the abdomen and is on the verge of death. The white-boned puppet attacks by surprise, and Hu Yu dies a miserable death. Han Li releases the Liziang bird to restrain the evil spirits. Someone is manipulating the ghost fog. And the white-boned puppet is unusually strong. The sound of a ghost's cry disturbs the mind. And Jin Qing's roar shocks. The white-boned puppet is destroyed. And the ghost fog dissipates. Shi Dai takes the opportunity to escape. And Han Li remains indifferent. Han Li and Jin Qing encounter a strange green figure. Han Li uses his fat yang bird to test the green figure. But it is easily dismissed. Showing the figure's strength. The green figure is interested in taking over Han Li's body, causing Jin Qing to hesitate and decide to escape. The green figure goes back on its word and kills the fleeing Jin Qing with bones. Han Li prepares to fight the green figure with all his strength along with the Soul Requiem. His azure bamboo bee cloud sword ready. Badly injured, Han Li controls his bleeding and resolves to kill Ku Han at any cost. Ku Han claims that Han Li has used the body double technique that he taught him and has possessed Ku Han's body. Han Li's soul summoning bell is ineffective against Ku Han, who boasts that he has taken control of the body double. Ku Han merges with the skeleton, and his body transforms into that of a youth. Han Li is shocked to see Ku Han's cultivation has increased. The boy's magic weapon resembles Han Li's Sky Thunder bamboo, but it had been refined by demonic arts, making its black lightning even more powerful. Han Li discovers with shock that the arrows in the boy's magic weapon are the Golden Thunder bamboo he had been cultivating. But they have been refined into a magic weapon by the old ghoul. Han Li realizes his initial suspicions were correct. The demonic arts used by his opponent are formidable. And even with his 100,000 gold devouring beetles, he cannot guarantee victory. The young immortal cultivator claims to have lived over 600 years. And after transforming into a spirit soul body, he has lived another 400 or 500 years. This sparks Han Li interest in the spirit soul demon forging technique. The boy demands that Han Li reveal his origins. And Han Li proposes an exchange. He asks the boy some questions, which the boy readily agrees to. But he warns Han Li that knowing too much could be dangerous. Han Li attempts to probe the boy's cultivation. And he guesses that his opponent is only in the late Nascent Soul stage. However, the boy's expression remains calm. And he betrays no signs of weakness. The boy requests to examine the jade slip Han Li has obtained. And after some hesitation, Han Li hands over the gray-white jade slip. The clear ringing from the old devil pleasantly surprised Venerable Zhan Jiyu. And he took out the white glow and black worm from his rib. A yellowed, worn brocade handkerchief appeared in the white glow, resembling the remnant map that Han Li possessed. Venerable Zhan Jiyu hurriedly left, warning Han Li to watch out for the old devil's wicked disciple. Han Li collected the storage pouches of Jin Qing and the others and found that the old devil hadn't searched them. Han Li noticed a pattern of a golden light sword appearing on the handkerchief in his hand, pointing in a northwest direction. After some hesitation, Han Li decided to follow the direction indicated by the light sword and explore. Moments later, a pale-skinned middle-aged man arrived and was furious to find his cave dwelling destroyed. He released a black bird to search the surroundings, looking for clues. Han Li encounters Sound Melody sect disciple Wen Simin and recognizes her as an elder from a portrait in the offerings hall. He discovers that Wen Simin's father is Wen Chang, the former master of Kui Xing Island, who has advanced to mid-late foundation establishment. Han Li remarks on his aged appearance. The Wen family expresses gratitude to Han Li for saving their lives. He admires Wen Simin's talent. Han Li demonstrates his formidable strength by killing 3 Poison Dragon Club cultivators. Wen Shang begs Han Li to intercede for his daughter, Siyu, with Elder Zi Ling. But Han Li is reluctant to give a direct response. Siyu reveals that she was forced by her master to marry another cultivator and that she felt wronged after refusing. Han Li departs due to other matters, leaving Wen Shang and his daughter with the knowledge that Han Li and Siyu had met in the past, piquing Siyu's curiosity about Han Li. A month later, as Han Li searches for a secluded sea area, he discovers the magnificent floating void hall suspended in the air. Han Li releases his divine sense to investigate and discovers a different dimension within the hall, prompting him to sneak inside. He witnesses several cultivators using identical maps to enter the hall and decides to follow suit. Above the hall's entrance is the striking inscription Floating Void Hall in silver ancient script, which causes Han Li's eyes to ache when he gazes upon it. In a hall, Venerable Profound Bone, Violet Spirit Fairy of the Melody Sect, and a young man in a green robe discover Han Li. Elder Miao harbors hostility toward Han Li, who had previously killed a 6 Harmonies Hall elder. Han Li notices 2 Nascent Soul cultivators, a thin Confucian scholar and a beautiful, icy woman. Venerable Profound Bone suggests that they cooperate with Han Li to search for treasure. Black Ugliness, the young master of Infernal Island, and another mysterious middle-aged cultivator enter the hall. Han Li ponders the risks and opportunities of entering the Heavenly Palace and the strange behavior of Ancestor Ji Yin. Venerable Zhan Ji Yu offers an alliance and claims knowledge of an item that can double the chance of forming a nascent soul. The condition being to join forces in eliminating Ancestor Ji Yin. Han Li contemplates Zhan Gus's proposal and observes Ancestor Ji Yin's enigmatic nature. Realizing he may be targeted and his situation perilous, Zhan Ji Yu reveals the item that increases nascent soul chances to be the 9-Ben Spirit Ginseng, a legendary spirit herb said to be highly sentient and proficient at burrowing. Han Li is astounded by the existence of the 9-Ben Spirit Ginseng but recognizes the grave danger he faces. Having potentially made an enemy of a nascent soul cultivator, the atmosphere was tense as Grandmaster Jian and the Confucian scholar awaited the arrivals of significant figures. 2 venerable figures entered: Taoist Patriarch Tianwazi and a gaunt, bitter-looking elder, deeply revered by the cultivators present. Grandmaster Jian and the newcomers shared intense animosity, with the former denouncing them as hypocrites. Sect Master Wantianming of the Myriad Dharma sect entered, sending a wave of fear through Grandmaster Jian. Lady Wen and Wantianming argued over the mistreatment of her sword-wielding servant girl, but Wantianming dismissed her with contempt. A tremor shook the hall, announcing the entrance of a bizarre, curly-bearded giant whose every step echoed through the chamber. The giant's eyes burned with defiance towards Wantianming, challenging him to a contest of dark arts. Patriarch Ji Yin is worried that Wanfa sect will use the golden silkworm to obtain the Void Heaven Cauldron, while Barbarian Huzi points out that Patriarch Ji Yin also has ambitions for the fire python. Patriarch Ji Yin proposes cooperating with Barbarian Huzi and Azure Yi cultivator, sharing the spoils in the Void Heaven Cauldron except for the Void Heaven Cauldron and the Heaven Patching Pill. Barbarian Huzi is hesitant about entering the inner hall of the Void Heaven Palace, but expresses that he will follow if Wan Tianming enters. Patriarch Profound Bone discloses the ulterior motives of Star Palace, putting Han Li on high alert. 4 days later, the teleportation array appears, and the hall is sealed off. 2 elders in white robes activate the teleportation array and depart. Wan Tianming and other nascent soul cultivators teleport away, followed by the rest of the cultivators. Patriarch Profound Bone goes first, and Patriarch Extreme Yin and others leave afterward. Han Li teleports to a desolate slope and meets up with Fairy Violet Spirit, the gray-clad elder, and the black-robed masked man. Fairy Violet Spirit requests Han Li protection, and Han Li responds with his usual indifference. Han Li meets Fairy Zilling and is puzzled by her plain appearance yet extraordinary demeanor. Jie Li, the gray-clad elder, proposes an alliance, warning of the dangers of the ghostly injustice realm, including the presence of fierce spirits and even the Ghost King. Fairy Zilling shares information about the ghostly injustice realm, mentioning the existence of the Ghost King, which worries Han Li. Jie Li suggests they team up, but his previous alliance proposal is declined by the black-robe figure. Han Li extends an invitation to the black-robe figure, but is met with indifference. Fairy Zilling notices something peculiar about the black-robe figure. Han Li doesn't believe in destiny, and he believes that becoming an immortal is just a way to live forever. Fairy Violet Spirit and Jie Li are embarrassed by Han Li's outspokenness, but most of the cultivators also think that soul weeping is just a legend. The man in black disappears into the ghost mist with the soul weeping, and Han Li suggests that they take the path he took. The ghost mist tries to attack the 3 of them, and Jie Li uses his red umbrella and a pillar of light for defense. Fairy Violet Spirit uses a barrier, and Han Li uses the sword energy from his green bamboo bee cloud sword. Han Li uses his divine sense to be aware of his surroundings and discovers a faint passageway, which he guesses is caused by the man in black's cultivation method or the soul weeping. As they enter deeper into the ghost mist, it becomes darker in color, and Han Li's expression darkens. Han Li stops and discovers that he has stepped on a pile of bones, which are wrapped in shimmering green silk. Lady Ziling, upon learning that evil spirits can reach the Ghost King realm, was shaken to her core but still determined to give it a try. Elder Zhe Li decided to withdraw and return to safety. Han Li buried the remains and magical treasures of the deceased, hoping that he would be treated the same way one day. Lady Ziling inquired with Han Li about the origins of the Void Heaven Palace. The Void Heaven Palace appears every 300 years. It possesses intricate mechanisms and contains numerous precious treasures. However, to seize the opportunity, one must pass through 3 challenging trials. The exact number of treasures in the Void Heaven Palace is unknown, but the difficulty in finding them is immense. Most cultivators are likely to acquire only 1 or 2. Ziling Fairy is hit by the ghost trance melody, but Han Li startles her awake. On the scene, a black-robed demon cultivator engages in a fierce battle with a ghost shadow, while the banshee beast is held back by the green-haired ghost knight Rakshasa. Ziling Fairy recognizes the ghost knight Rakshasa, leaving Han Li in awe of his own ignorance. The black-robed demon cultivator falls into danger, but Han Li remains indifferent. The black-robed man is almost pierced by the gray shadow, but a white light suddenly appears and saves him. Han Li finds the white light comes from a giant bird-shaped object, while the black-robed man takes out an ancient mirror which then breaks. The black-robed man despises Han Li but agrees with his battle plan against the gray shadow. Han Li calls out the Golden Devouring Beetle to deal with numerous evil spirits, while the soul-devouring beast rolls up an evil spirit. Among the 2 ghostly figures, the green ghost spurts out green beads to capture Han Li's flying sword, while the gray ghost vanishes. The black giant tiger spat out a light sphere to attack Han Li's flying sword, damaging it. Han Li reinstituted 4 flying swords, which transformed into 8 and combined into a giant sword, strengthening the giant sword with his essence. He slashed at the light sphere. Under the influence of the gray ghost, the black giant tiger sprouted 2 heads, intensifying its light sphere attacks. Han Li's giant sword shattered the light sphere, but more spheres continued to emerge, overwhelming him. The gray ghost ambushed Han Li, attempting to assassinate him, but it was surrounded and devoured by golden and silver beetles. Han Li invoked 2 more swarms of beetles, endangering the ghost. The black ghost infused itself into the 2-headed giant tiger, causing its form to change. One of its tiger heads transformed into a human shape. Han Li discovers that the shadow beast, consumed by the devour gold insect, has escaped. The 2-headed monster lets out an eerie shriek, which damages Han Li's soul. The shadow beast returns to the 2-headed monster and is consumed. A 3rd head, that of a woman with the head of a tiger, sprouts from the 2-headed monster. The monster's size explodes, and Han Li deploys his puppets and the azure giant sword to attack. The monster responds with a barrage of black light orbs and gray ghost flames. The tiger demon was struck by the electric arcs on Han Li's giant sword and exploded violently, turning into ashes. Han Li slashed open a 3-colored orb, releasing 3 black streams of chi that were destroyed by a fireball. The combined tiger demon was eliminated by the awe-inspiring divine thunder on the flying sword. As Han Li had expected, the black-robed person was shocked by Han Li's overwhelming power in annihilating the tiger demon, and had the intention of winning him over. Fairy Ziling expressed astonishment at Han Li's prowess and claimed it was a stroke of luck to be traveling with him. Han Li called the woman in the black robe Miss Yuan, to her surprise, but she denied it instantly and appeared hostile. Han Li guessed that she had misunderstood him and explained that he had seen her with another female cultivator, fellow Taoist Yan, in Tiandu Street on Kuixing Island over 100 years ago. After recalling, the woman in the black robe recognized Han Li and noticed his significant improvement in cultivation. Han Li mocked himself for his unremarkable appearance. The woman in the black robe congratulated Han Li on reaching the core formation stage, which left him surprised and suggested that she must have extraordinary talent or fortune. The 3 decided to leave the ghost fog forest as soon as possible to avoid encountering more powerful ghosts. A nascent soul cultivator appears in the ghost fog, possessing a treasure that counters ghost path cultivation techniques. Taoist Zongwu attempts to collaborate with a ghost possessing a deep voice, searching for a physical body and planning to deal with Han Li. Ancestor Ji Yin is anxiously searching for Han Li, but to no avail. The Confucian-robed elder expresses suspicion towards Ancestor Ji Yin. Taoist Zongwu reveals the existence of a mysterious core formation helper with a golden thunder bamboo magic treasure and formidable abilities. More and more cultivators appear in the ghost fog, but many are becoming severely injured. A young cultivator accompanying Fairy Ziling appears. Disheveled and ashen-faced, Taoist Zongwu continues to meditate, briefly conversing with the ghost, hinting at his helper's strength. Han Li meets Yuan Yao and questions her about her problems. Yuan Yao refuses to answer, and Han Li ignores her, which angers her and makes her leave. Han Li meets with Elder Zhan Jiyu, who tells him he has acted too slowly. Han Li explains that he encountered a fierce ghost and a soul-gathering spirit. Elder Zhan Jiyu is curious how Han Li escaped the spirit, but Han Li pretends ignorance. Elder Zhan Jiyu agrees to give Han Li the 9-bend Lingzi, on the condition that Han Li helps him eliminate his treacherous disciple Ji Yin. Han Li readily agrees. Han Li senses Patriarch Ji Yin's gaze and smiles wryly. Patriarch Ji Yin seems to fear something. A teleportation array appears, and an old man dressed in white announces that the reward for passing the first round is the ability to gather spirit herbs, but only for a single day. There are 2 paths inside the canyon: the freezing dark crystal path and the scorching lava path. Only by traversing these paths can one find the teleportation array to escape. The time allowed for treasure hunting outside the canyon is 1 day, and everyone's luck will determine their gains. Han Li forms an alliance with Lord Blackbones, but Han Li remains wary of him. Nascent soul cultivators from both the righteous and demonic sects teleport out, each with their own plans. Patriarch Dark Shade and his companions act alone, with their objectives unknown. Barbarian Whisk and Taoist Greenies form an alliance to gather spirit medicines, but Taoist Greenies reneges in the end, causing Barbarian Whisk's dissatisfaction. Elder Zhan Jiyu discovers that the 9-bend spirit ginseng is still on the stone mountain, while Han Li cannot see the ginseng's spiritual energy with his physical eyes. But after Elder Zhan Jiyu reminds him, Han Li successfully captures the ginseng's aura using the Great Evolution technique. Elder Zhan Jiyu takes out a net made of pure gold and instructs Han Li to use it to capture the ginseng. He also takes out the 4 symbols black tortoise formation and lets Han Li arrange it, while he goes on to track the ginseng's trace. Elder Zhan Jiyu secretly confesses to the man that he gives the formation flag to Han Li in order to make him feel relieved to enter the formation and take the opportunity to kill him. He resolves not to trust anyone again and is unwilling to give the 9-bend spirit ginseng to Han Li.